6 years ago, I lost 100 pounds and have maintained that weight loss for the past 6 years. I've realized that more than physical changes have taken place. More emotional, spiritual, and also psychological changes have occurred. With this have brought about big changes in relationships, both with men and women. Also, it's changed the way that I've thought about people, relationships, and many other things. So I'm hoping that this series will help you better understand and grow as you go through your own journey. So stay tuned.
Hi YouTubers, it's your girl Beautiful Brown Baby Doll, and I'm coming today to talk to you a little bit more about men treating me differently since my 100-pound weight loss. And if you would like to see part 1 of this video, go ahead and click here, and I'm going to go ahead and place the link there for you to click and watch the first part, because I think it's most rewarding to see that first and then see this video. And just to get into it, for those of you all who are choosing to go ahead and watch this one anyway, I lost about 100 pounds 6 years ago. I have a lot of videos on it. I'll make sure that I place those playlists up. But one thing that I found important to do is to talk to my viewers who are also going through the same journey about how things change psychologically, mentally, not just physically. There's so many other things and aspects about life that change when you have a significant weight loss. And I wanted to try and get into some of the questions I was asked from the first video. I think a lot of people didn't wait until the end of the video to really ask some of the questions. But first and foremost, my weight was lost for me. I had tried to lose weight before for many different reasons, whether it be for a relationship, for a man, for family members, whatever, and it never worked. So I had to make sure that I was ready to lose my 100 pounds for me, and that's why it stayed off for 6 years. I could care less about what other people think about me and my body now, because I love my body. I love my little petite body, and I like it this way. It makes me happy, and that's that. It's not that I was not happy at any time during the time that I was heavier, nor am I saying that anyone who's heavier is happy. Heck yeah, I know a lot of happy people that are heavy, and I was happy at some point in being heavy, but I became unhappy with my body because I felt I was not working at my full potential. So let me go into that. As far as men treating me differently, and I've had a lot of people say this, like, well, has it changed the type of men that you've wanted? Of course. In losing weight, it opened me up to a broader amount, and this is for me, a broader amount of men that I was accessible to, or that were accessible to me. Being that I changed my physical appearance, whether or not we like to admit it on a day-to-day basis, I keep it real. Y'all know me. Looks have a lot to do with the way that people treat you. And so because I may have fit into a scope of what more men liked, it made it easier for me to have access to different types of men. And it wasn't that I wasn't dating any good men before, but I must say that my taste in men and the type of men I was dating did change. So yeah, it changed the, sometimes I thought, even back then when I was not as happy with myself, there were some men that I thought were just beautiful. Heck, they could have been gods. They were just glorious looking creatures. And after I lost my weight and changed, they weren't as attractive to me. And that sounds bad, but they weren't. They really didn't fit into my scope of beauty anymore. And I don't know if it's because I really changed how I was. And in that physical change, there was a mental change as well. I became happier with myself. I gained more self-esteem and self-confidence. And so maybe that changed how I liked my men to look. And not only how I liked them to look, but what I liked for them to be involved in, how they treated me, their personalities, all of that mattered. Whereas when I was heavier, it wasn't always about all those things. And so because I knew myself more, because I had built this sense of self-confidence and self-pride and all of that, it changed my scope. I really did have a desire for a different type of man. And just to get even more into how men treated me, I will say it was hard for some of the male relationships that I had, and I think I kind of touched on this in the first video. A lot of the male relationships I had kind of went down the drain because these were people who could once tell me everything, you know, about their relationships, about other things, and then the dynamics of our relationship changed once I became more attractive to them. It was more about dating me. It was more about, you know, what I was into, who I was dating, and that kind of created risks in some of the relationships that I had with men. So that changed. Also, you know, we don't even think about, you know, how this changes you among women. And I kind of talked about this in the first video, but among women, it changed because of the different caliber of man that I was attracting. So it could have been that some girls liked a certain guy, and then when I came along and lost my weight and was different, then they were attracted to me and no longer those young women who once liked them. And I think that also changed a lot about my thought process and how much I trusted people, because I actually had people that would work backwards for me, that would try and give me bad advice, that people who never once cared about who I dated, who cared, you know, at that point. And I think it also changed my scope on life and how much looks really can change the way that people treat you. It just does. And a lot of times we don't like to admit that, but it does. And it's not to say that a woman who's heavier is not pulling them, because I know plenty, like I said, I know plenty of happy, healthy, bigger women that are happy with themselves. But I will say, for me, life changed. Life changed. I became happier. And it really did change, again, the type of men I had access to. Another thing that has to be considered is how people treat you on a day-to-day basis. So not just men, but I think a lot of people really watch my weight now more than I do. And so they treat me differently in that realm. Anytime I'm eating with certain people, they want to know what I'm eating. They want to know, am I counting calories? Am I looking at my fat? I've even had people make comments like, if you eat that, you might gain your weight back. And I'm like, dude, I had this down for years now. Are you serious? I think I know how to eat a piece of pie and work it off and be cool. So outside of that, I've had people treat me crazy, like just off the flip, because they feel like they can say certain things to me and that those things don't hurt or they don't matter. And that's when I think a lot of times other people can come off as thinking that you're being arrogant when you correct that behavior. But no, I think it's right for us to correct that behavior. If you make a change that's outside of weight loss and I'm constantly criticizing it, I shouldn't consider you arrogant for confronting me about it. I find that my weight is often a topic for people, and I feel like it shouldn't be. You know, and I feel like a lot of people often watch and wait for me to gain a pound so they can say something about it. So it's not just the men who treat me differently. It's women. It's older women, older men. It's people of all races and genders that treat me differently. And I think, you know, we need to come to the realization that these changes are made. So it's not just about the physical change. That's what I want to tell you all. It's not about that physical change. It's all about also that mental, and how can you make sure that your mind is right through this process. And I thank God for keeping a grounded mind and spirit and being fine and happy with myself. And also not being too hard on myself during this, and also not making other people feel uncomfortable during this. So I feel like this is something that you need to prepare for. If you're embarking upon a weight loss, any kind of transformation, people are going to treat you differently when you become successful. People, you know, sometimes when you make a change or step out on faith and you do something like losing a lot of weight, some people look at you and they wonder why they can't do it. So they're going to try everything in their power to make you feel bad about your triumph. So instead of trying to make you feel good and building you up, they find ways to break you down, just to humble you to the point of where they think you should be. But you learn over time how to catch that and call that. And I, a lot of times, just smile and grin at people that do things like that. I also wanted to offer encouragement to those of you all who are going through this. If you're going through it, don't focus so much on it. In the beginning, it was a big focus for me. I'm like, oh, why they gotta say that? Oh, why they gotta treat me like that? But in reality, anytime you make a change, this is what's going to happen. Anytime you decide that you want to be better or do better, this is what's going to happen. So if you continue to be successful, if you continue to meet goals, if you continue to make great strides in your life, this is something that you can expect. And this just came along with a lot of factors. So I can't say that this was the only variable. I also became very successful in my education, reaching a high level of education at a young age. Also the weight loss, you know, also the hair. All of those things changed. So for some people, that was too much to handle. That was too much of Nina to handle at one time. And I can understand. So if they had to separate themselves, if I had to separate me, so be it. Because I was still going to be successful. So I hope that offers you all some encouragement along your way to keep pushing forward. And there's going to be a lot more videos in this series. So keep watching. Stay tuned. Beautiful brown baby doll. Peace.
Well, I'm that N to the I to the N to the A, better known as BBBD. A motivating, captivating personality with weight loss, hair care, yeah, you know with me. Much more than a diva, hard hitter, never quitter, and a winner, so you know that I will. Seek to educate, regulate, never violate, never teach and hate, but I will participate at a high rate in living my life much like it is golden. Blessing brains with the knowledge and the skills to be real while they pass. If you would like to see more natural hair care and weight loss videos by me, please click on the video links and they'll take you straight to my playlist. Thank you so much for all the support that you all give me. Please continue to rate, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe to see Beautiful Brown Baby Doll grow. Thank you.